The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers, and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Proton Pack Podcast. I'm Kristian, and with me always is the gizmo to my Billy, Tony. Say hey, Tone.
Hi! Hi, Billy! Hey, everybody, it's episode, what are we at now?
77.
Episode 60. Is it 77?
It is. We're getting closer and closer to that 100 mark.
Yeah, we're chugging along, but we're happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Another new episode. It is Wednesday, September 9th today. Yeah.
It is the 8th.
It's the 9th or it's the 8th? It's the 8th. It's Wednesday. I know we pre-record and stuff, but it really is Wednesday. So
I won't hold it against you, Tone. I know it's early morning, and just trying to get into the group.
My calendar is clearly, it's right in front of me, too. Wednesday, September 8th. So it is early as we record this, and I no longer do the overnights except last night. So
fair enough.
little on the exhausted side, but that's all right.
Well, regardless, we have a wonderful show for you guys today. I just want to remind everybody that we can be found on social media. So if you take a look below, anywhere that you get social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just go to Proton Pack Podcast. You can follow the stories that we talk about here, see trailers that we update, and, we update it pretty often as we see things come about. But as we do at the beginning of each show, we like to review something that recently came out, whether it's a ongoing TV show or in this case, it is, a movie that we've been waiting for a while. Didn't know what the expectation was because it was a title we're not super familiar with. But we both went to the theaters on pretty much opening day and saw Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, for me, I thought it was a fun ride. Again, Marvel took an obscure character, similar to what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, really sort of amped him up, made it fun for the audience, and the action was amazing. The choreography was beautiful. It was funny. It was touching. You had cameos in there that, one in particular that I wasn't expecting, but very glad that came about. I'll just say Iron Man 3, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. But that cameo was one of probably the best parts of the movie, at least the funniest. And then, Marvel has a way of taking villains and making them sympathetic. They're doing what they do because they think they do it for a good cause. Look at Thanos with, wiping out half of the universe. He wanted to save the universe, through resources. Obviously, it was mass genocide. But they made you feel for him in why he was doing it. And again, in Shang-Chi, they did the same thing here. And I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. I would say out of 10, I'd give it a 9.5. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. Tony, what did you think?
I thought, to piggyback, mostly we have the same review of it. It was a really, really fun movie. Marvel did such a great job taking the unknown characters, unless you're a diehard comic book fan and you really read the stories. They made an awesome movie out of it. Great story, fantastic action. If you're a fan of Kung Fu, which I actually enjoyed Kung Fu movies when I was younger. So the Kung Fu fights were fantastic. And like you said, the choreography was just on point. They did Mortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat did.
Exactly.
Minus the fatalities. Mortal Kombat really did the fatality portion right, but everything else, eh. Yeah. But Shang-Chi, funny, action-packed, like you said, cameos that are mixed in. Well worth the watch in theaters. The 2 bonus credits at the end were definitely great. And surprisingly, I thought Aquafina would kind of bother me in it based off the previews, I'm like, she's going to drive me nuts. She really didn't. She was a great addition. She was funny.
She was hilarious.
It was great humor. I enjoyed her. I thought she was fantastic. I'm trying to think if I have anything bad to say about the movie. I don't have anything negative to say. It was, I know, like, I'm a big Marvel guy. I usually don't put down Marvel things. And this was a fantastic movie. And I look forward to seeing where it goes from here in the MCU. Great origin story, so...
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even though we are Marvel guys, we can recognize when a movie's not at its full potential. I mean, look at Captain Marvel. It was a passable Marvel movie, but, it wasn't the best of, nobody would put it in their top 10 of the Marvel movies. This one, for a lot of people, may be up there. I mean, it was really, really well done. I like sort of the new take on the 10 rings as opposed to, the old Mandarin with, just wearing rings on his hands. Probably, that would be too close to the Infinity Gauntlet. So having them as kind of bracelets that, the powers and what they did, that was a really cool addition, really cool kind of retcon to the old comics that makes a lot of sense.
Yo, absolutely. And I do like the fact that they pay, nods to Iron Man 3, and then they joke and say, and this idiot called himself the Mandarin. So the world was afraid of an orange. Like
chicken,
the little joke they dropped in there about their chicken, orange chicken. So, but nonetheless, go check it out. It's in theaters now. Definitely one I would like to see again in theaters. So it was a very enjoyable movie. Still wasn't my favorite movie of the year, though. It still was not.
Hard to beat Free Guy.
Free Guy, still best movie I've seen this year, but Shang-Chi was definitely awesome, and I don't see anything in the box office this month that's going to oppose it. Unfortunately, everything's kind of scared to be in theaters right now. I think the next big one for us is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I think that's the next big one, which
we'll be talking about that in a little bit.
Episode.
Exactly. Well, speaking of which, folks, we are headed into our break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking TV news, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a few.
Behold, my precious. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here, It's the Loot Crate subscription box, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Loot Crate Horror Box. What's with kids today, huh?
Wowzers! With crates starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors.
To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX media.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they could be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. And welcome back, folks, to the Proton Pack podcast. I'm Kristian. I'm here with Tony. Now, we just finished up our review of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Again, we couldn't recommend it enough. Definitely go see it in theaters. Dolby Atmos, IMAX, whatever, big sound, big picture you can do, we certainly recommend it. But as we do in the second segment of each show, let's go ahead and get on into that TV news.
Bazinga! The cream of the crop!
Hey, baby.
Let's go, Bob.
Excellent.
Hail to the king, baby.
So first up in TV news, actually, we've got sort of a trio of kind of horror TV, horror light. But Guillermo del Toro and the Netflix streaming service are teaming up to bring us an anthology series called Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, which is described as a live-action, genre-defining and chilling collection of distinct stories. Filming is currently underway in Toronto, so Netflix has announced the names of several of the show's writers, directors, and cast members, making it clear that they're not just relying on old Del Toro's name to sell the project. This show is packed with talent, including cast member, RoboCop himself, Peter Weller. Creative and executive produced by Del Toro, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is also being executive produced by J. Miles Dale, who serves as co-showrunner, and Gary Unger. Regina Corrado is the co-executive producer. Here's the lined up confirmed writers, directors, and cast members. You've got Essie Davis, Andrew Lincoln, and Hannah Galway star in an episode written based on the original story by Guillermo del Toro and directed by Jennifer Kent. Academy Award winner F. Murray Abraham, Glynn Turman, and Luke Roberts will appear in an episode written by David S. Goyer. Tim Blake Nelson, Elpidia Carrillo, Demetrius Gross, and Sebastian Roche star in an episode written by Regina Corrado. Crispin Glover and Ben Barnes star in an episode written by Lee Patterson. Peter Weller, who I just mentioned, stars in an episode directed by Panos Cosmatos. Let's see, Mika Watkins in an episode directed by Catherine Hardwicke. David Hewlett in an episode written by Vincenzo Natali, and then Haley Boston is in an episode written by Anna Lily Armourpour. So you've got some big names you haven't quite heard of yet, but it should be interesting. If you saw Guillermo del Toro's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I have a feeling that this will sort of fall into those lines, and you get those, classic Del Toro creatures. Tony, is this something you'll be checking out when it hits Netflix?
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, especially Andrew Lincoln. It'd be great to see Rick Grimes back on the TV screen, especially in a different role, because he left The Walking Dead, and he really hasn't gone on to do anything. I think his superstardom was there, where he could have done movies or some other projects, and if he did do them, I was unaware of most of them, if any. So this is cool to hear he's in there, and Crispin Glover's always a trip. So the original George McFly's an interesting character. So it'd be neat to see what they could do. So yeah, absolutely, something I would definitely check out.
And nothing says creepy like Crispin Glover. So my guess is that he'll probably play
creepy, right?
Yeah. He'll play some sort of weird off character in this, and I think it'll be a great fit for Guillermo del Toro, even though he didn't quite get along well with Bob Zemeckis. So,
yeah, this is true. She click a little bit better there. So
exactly. Well, let's move on to our next one, our second story in sort of the trio of horror, if you will. We've been waiting for the HBO Max streaming service to announce when they're going to release the 10-episode first season of their animated series, Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai, which serves as a prequel to the 1984 classic Gremlins. But The Hollywood Reporter has just broke the news that you won't have to be an HBO Max subscriber to watch the show. It will also be airing on Cartoon Network as part of the network's new Acme Night, a Sunday evening block of family-friendly movies and shows that will debut on September 19th. Boy, that's right around the corner. It's not clear if that means Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai will be premiering on Cartoon Network on September 19th, but we can hope. The Acme Night block will also be available to watch through HBO Max in early 2022. Joining Gremlins in the Acme Night lineup are Aquaman King of Atlantis, Unicorn Warriors Eternal, Batman Caped Crusader, and the Harry Potter Wizarding World Quiz Show. Warner Brothers Animation is also producing the movies Merry Little Batman, Did I Do That to the Holidays, a Steve Urkel story, and a Looney Tunes feature starring Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. Boy, it almost sounds like Mad Libs there. You get a Harry Potter quiz show and the Steve Urkel story. What more could you ask for, right?
No, I forgot I've read about the Steve Urkel thing. I think that's funny.
I had no idea.
Can I do that? He's Jaleel White's actually coming back to voice Urkel in it.
That's awesome.
Hi, Laura. I can't do it. It's been a long time. Did I do that?
The funny thing is going to be that, obviously kids who would be watching these have no idea who Steve Urkel is or Family Matters.
No, they're going to be like, what is that?
Yeah, it's a whole new generation of potential fans, but regardless, this is good news.
That goes out the window for when they say family-friendly block. That goes out the window of taking the Steve Urkel character, making it like adult-themed. Because he had his Urkel, his strands of marijuana and all that. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
The purple Urkel, yeah.
Hey, to be fair, I mean, Mike Tyson has a TV show, and he's right in the same boat. Cartoon.
Oh my gosh, that was so weird. The Mike Tyson detective. Yeah. You're on a mystery case. That little pigeon talked to me.
But regardless, it should be a fun lineup, and I'm excited to see what they do with this Gremlins animated series. And, it'd be nice to see them back. We get the Mountain Dew commercials with Billy and Gizmo, but, I think we'd like to see a little bit more in that world.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. I just still don't get the branding of Gremlins being kid-related. Like when we were kids, sure, Gremlins 2 was definitely aimed at the kids, but, man, part 1 was freaky.
That was scary.
It was. You look at it now, not so much, but it was definitely had give you nightmare moments for sure.
Well, with that being said, let's move on to our third story in sort of this trio of horror. This one about one of my favorite authors of all time and what he does in media. But for a while, Neil Gaiman Adaptations appeared to be, aside from Coraline, a hopeless endeavor, as a film based on his own comic book series, The Sandman, spent decades in development hell. But now The Sandman is getting a series adaptation from Netflix, a second season of Good Omens, and an adaptation of Anansi Boys are being made at Amazon. American Gods is wrapping up on Starz, and HBO Max has ordered a pilot based on the Dead Boy Detectives, characters Gaiman created for DC Comics. Their first appearance was in The Sandman issue number 25. If you don't know who these characters are, they're Charles Rowland and Edwin Payne, who decide not to enter the afterlife in order to stay on Earth and investigate crimes involving the supernatural. While the Dead Boy Detectives are already set to be played by Sebastian Croft and Ty Tennant, in the upcoming third season of the HBO Max series Doom Patrol, Croft and Tennant are not believed to be attached to this pilot at the moment. The pilot is being written by Steve Yockey, who also serves as executive producer alongside Jeremy Carver and Berlanti Productions, Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and David Madden. Yockey and Carver previously worked together on Supernatural. Yockey currently serves as co-showrunner on The Flight Attendant, while Carver is showrunner on Doom Patrol. Tony, I assume you're not familiar with the Dead Boy detectives from DC Comics. I never really followed the Sandman series, but knowing what you know of these Neil Gaiman adaptations, Good Omens, American Gods, the Sandman, is this something you might consider checking out?
Oh, I would definitely consider it. I'd like to see some stuff, but I always like going into things sometimes, even if you don't know them, as we go back to Shang-Chi earlier. I mean, you don't know a lot about it. You know, if it looks good, definitely give it a shot.
And the premise sounds pretty cool. You know, two guys who die, they decide, we're not going to go to the afterlife. We're going to investigate the paranormal here on Earth. Kind of takes that supernatural CW vibe to a different level. And being that it's going to be on Netflix, HBO Max, you know, they can push the limits a little bit. Yeah,
which will be it'll be a good thing. So I look forward to it, especially the way you put it. It actually sounds good.
And then our final story here in TV news. Although the Suicide Squad has been unleashed, we certainly haven't seen the last of those wacky supervillains. James Gunn had so much fun with the Suicide Squad that he approached Warner Brothers about developing a spin-off TV series revolving around John Cena's Peacemaker. We'll finally get to see our first look at Peacemaker during DC Fandom in October, but a new Peacemaker poster has been released to give us a little taste, which I'll post on our Facebook page. The 8-episode Peacemaker series will debut on HBO Max early next year, and James Gunn had previously teased why he wanted to spend more time exploring a character who he described as a, quote, piece of shit. Peacemaker was one of the best parts of the Suicide Squad. He was fun. His banter back and forth with Idris Elba was great. And who doesn't love John Cena?
Yeah, I think that's going to be good. His character, he really is a piece of shit. But, you know, he was entertaining. That movie I really liked it. I know it got dumped on and everything, but I really enjoyed the Suicide Squad. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was, you know, a little outside of what you expect from James Gunn, but and
the big giant starfish was a bit much, but
and somewhat of a spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Suicide Squad, the Peacemaker series will most definitely be a prequel.
Oh, yeah. It takes place before. At least it kind of shows you how he got there. So that's a good way to tell an origin story, though, without having to make a movie about it.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for our TV news. When we come back, we're headed into movie news, weekend box office reports. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, You quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. And welcome back, folks, to the Proton Pack podcast. You know, we just finished up our TV news, getting ready to head into the movie news, but not before we bring you guys the weekend box office report. Well, it's no surprise that the movie that we reviewed just a little bit earlier was the number one movie of the weekend. Of course, Labor Day weekend open. Broke box office records at $90 million in its opening weekend, which, I mean, for the time of COVID, a lot of places being shut down, $90 million in a weekend in this day and age wouldn't only be huge for wide openings, but for this, it is something special. The international debut, its worldwide opening total so far is $140 million. That's amazing, Tone.
That is incredible. Because if you go back to the beginning of the year when we were talking about like Kong versus Godzilla, and we're like, whoa, it made $30 million. We're like, 30 million was the big thing at the time.
Right.
And then we joked, we're like, oh God, this is like the best it's been in COVID. And 90 million is huge. I think, you know, and on top of that, to shatter, I mean, not just set box office records. I mean, what was it we're probably reading the same article, but it crushed Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween remake was the record holder in the Labor Day market at 30.6 million.
Yeah,
so
it tripled
think
that
about
number
since 2007. Whoo, that's damn impressive.
Yeah, look at you, Marvel, just minting money left and right. But you know,
pissing your old veterans off and your old directors off, but you're still making money.
Exactly. But they put out a good product, so you know, you get what you pay for.
Damn
right?
Good product. Hey, it's a good brand. Support the brand.
In second place, Candyman fell to a 10 point.
Just don't say his name 3 times. If you say Candyman, he's gonna appear.
This weekend made $10.55 million, total budget of $25 million, and has cleared $41.9 million to date. So it's doing well for itself. Obviously, low budget.
It would be officially a success. I mean, it made its money back, and that's pretty impressive for a horror movie. So good for them. I do want to see this one. I still haven't seen it.
It's why studios like horror movies, because they're cheap to produce and they make a ton of money if they are released correctly. Moving on, in third place, Free Guy, another movie we mentioned earlier, brought in another $8.7 million, bringing its total to the domestic box office of 91.8, global 239.2, so it's making a ton of money as well. I mean, looking at these top 3 movies, it's telling me that people want to go back to the theaters, which is really exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Which is fantastic, but you still have the some movies are all scared and they take off, like Top Gun.
We're going to be talking about those.
We're getting there. Oh God, yeah. Why are you taking off? Stay put.
Exactly.
Yanks. But
yowie wowie.
Moving on in fourth place was my favorite movie of the year so far. Paw Patrol brought in another $4 million, bringing its total to 31.5. Meh. And then rounding out the top,
the devil right there.
Rounded out the top 5 is Jungle Cruise, brought in another $3.95 million. In the top 10 after Jungle Cruise, you've got Don't Breathe 2, which brought in $2.7 million. Respect with $1.6 million. The Suicide Squad, which I'm kind of surprised is still in theaters, $1.1 million. Black Widow, also still in theaters with $893,000. And then the only movie on the list that I haven't heard of, The Night House, with $674,000.
Surprisingly, we did not cover that on Pop Culture Kaboom. So
no kidding. Huh.
I've never heard of that one. Yeah, you would think we would cover a weird one. You know what? Maybe they did cover it. Might have been an episode I was not on.
Ah, there you go.
I did take 2 weeks off, yeah. That's a respectable top 10 right there, you know.
Absolutely. I feel like we're getting back to normal a little bit, which is awesome. Well, that does it.
But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of big movies coming out this month.
No. But, there's a few that, and can always see Shang-Chi again. All right, well, that does it for the weekend box office report. Let's go ahead and move into that movie news.
And here we go.
Are you the keymaster?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Yes, we will, Doc Brown. Well, first thing here in movie news, we want to get our trailer of the week in. It's one of those things based on where we're recording. They released the teaser trailer for The Matrix 4 yesterday, at least the teaser for the full trailer. So we're going to play the full trailer next week when we record. This week, we're looking at a movie that, it's an action movie starring Deadpool, Wonder Woman, and Black Adam, talking Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock. And this is a movie called Red Notice. So let's go ahead and check out the trailer.
Special Agent John Hartley, FBI. Been tracking your scores for a while now. Every city, every heist. Now that you've been tagged with red notices, you've become the world's most wanted criminals. And I'm the only one who can bring you in.
Where'd you get that jacket? It's a statement piece. Somewhere there's a very nude cow whispering, worth it.
No, you heard about me.
Looking for something specific or just browsing?
You're under arrest.
Oh my God. Read the room.
Girls will keep the secret.
You want to arrest me? Arrest me.
I just want the egg.
Yeah.
Help me catch her, and I will help you.
Teamwork.
Direct, you know we get that.
Team. It feels weird in my mouth.
No talk.
Hello, boys. How's it going with your partner in crime?
We're work wives. We're not work wives.
Sister wives.
We're not any kind of wives. We both know that this whole thing is going to end with you in handcuffs.
Promises.
Know you heard about me, right?
Bye-bye, Agent John Hartley.
Boy, I gotta. Well, it's you use new technology, and sometimes it just pushes to the wrong screen. But no, regardless, that looks like a fun movie. It's Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and Gal Gadot staying in their lane. Basically being the characters that you know and love them for. But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's what I could see of the trailer. It looked good. For me, it was a little on a delay on my end, so I listened to it, and I'm seeing it all in a little bit of a delay. But the trailer looks cool from what I see of it. Like you said, you can't go wrong. You got Wonder Woman, Black Adam, and Green Lantern all in one flick.
I'd prefer Deadpool. We'll forget about Green Lantern.
Yeah. No, it does look cool. It's a little surprising that it's going to Netflix versus at least theater. I'm sure it'll get a limited run like most of their Netflix movies do, just so they can be in consideration for some type of awards sometimes. But nonetheless, I definitely would watch that. So.
Yeah, something you can enjoy from home, and you know what to expect from it. No surprises, just action, a little bit of comedy, and what more could you ask for? Well, let's move on to our next story here. In movie news, just minutes after Paramount announced that they're delaying the release of Top Gun Maverick, pushing the film back from November 19th of this year to May 27th of next year, Sony announced that they are delaying the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife, but it's only 1 week delay. Previously set to reach theaters on November 11th, Ghostbusters Afterlife will now be released on the Top Gun sequel vacated spot of November 19th. The Thanksgiving holiday is on November 25th this year, so Ghostbusters Afterlife will now get to enjoy those holiday bucks without facing the competition of Top Gun. I'm bummed that they are moving it back a week, but financially that makes a ton of sense. They're going to own that Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Oh, yeah, that one's definitely Ghostbusters. You don't go up against it. And it does suck that Top Gun moved all the way to 2022 for a movie that was done in 2020. It's just kind of a, I still want to see it. It's just been pushed back. It's like, I don't understand why they couldn't put it out. Like maybe October's got a lot coming out. December's got a lot, so I guess it does make a little sense. In November you got the Eternals in the first part, and then you got Ghostbusters the second part. But you look at like this month, where other than Shang-Chi, there's nothing coming out this month. Nothing of challenge. Like you could have taken Top Gun and kind of put it towards there, but I mean you only have a couple weeks. Maybe they were smart on it because everything is kind of spread out. Because you do have 007 coming out in October. You got Venom, Let There Be Carnage. There's definitely some heavy hitters. There's like at least 2 heavy hitters every month for the next few months, other than this one. This one's just Shang-Chi. That's all that's big for this month.
Yeah.
So,
and I have a feeling the Top Gun pushback is related to Tom Cruise. It was probably his decision based on the fact that they're also pushing back Mission Impossible 7. So, regardless, we still get a lot of good movies coming out throughout the rest of the year. We will get Ghostbusters this year. We do have to wait a little bit longer on Top Gun Maverick. But that actually brings me to...
Did it say when or just 2022?
Just said 2022. Top Gun Maverick...
It should go like Valentine's Day.
May 27th for Top Gun Maverick, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, you got to wait all the way. Yeah. But some good news in movie shifting. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We were worried that it was being pushed back. You sent me a story earlier in the week saying that it was pushed back again. Well, the good news is that they actually decided to move it up to October 1st. So as of today, we've got about 3 weeks to wait before the next big movie, which is Venom, Let There Be Carnage, moved up to October 1st, which is actually really exciting that they did that.
Yeah, well, I had just texted you when I got that breaking news. They had moved it, but then they had moved it again. right? They moved it to the 15th, but then later that day they changed their mind and moved it to the 1st or the beginning of the month versus the middle of the month.
And at this point, I'd say it's too late for them to move it again. Keep it at the 1st and don't touch it. Leave it alone.
Yeah, let's roll. Either way, I'm glad it's not the dreaded. There was the rumor it was going to 2022. It was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
And
bad marketing at that point, you know?
Yep. Finally here in movie news, moving from Spider-Man over to the DC universe, Jason Momoa and the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom team provided us with a bit of Sunday morning treat as they took to Instagram to reveal the hero's new suit for the upcoming sequel. Jason Momoa took to his Instagram to post the image, which first shows him in the suit we are familiar with from the first film. And with a quick swipe left, we get to see Momoa suited up for the action in his new attire. The caption reads, "Second round, new suit, more action." And we'll post that on our Facebook page. Tony, have you seen the new suit? What do you think of it?
I have seen the new suit. It looks better. I've even seen was it Patrick Wilson's other armor?
Yep.
In there. It looks
Ocean
good, but
Master.
my problem is this one also done by James Wan?
It is.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought Aquaman sucked. I know a lot of people praised it. I thought it was terrible.
I'm right there with you.
The CG in it was awful.
Well, and as we get a trailer, we'll talk more about the Aquaman sequel. Maybe they fixed the things that were wrong with the first one. But regardless, we have to head into our commercial break. So when we come back, we'll be talking video game news in the final segment of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Behold my precious. Ooh, yeah, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude! Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Box. What's with kids today, huh?
Wowzers! With crits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors. To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX media.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Welcome back, folks, to the fourth and final segment of the Proton Pack podcast. We reviewed Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. We talked about the TV news. We just finished up our movie news. And you know what that means. It's time for video game news now.
Hey, man, you want to play some video games? Hadouken! Oh, my! He's on fire!
All right, first up is a fairly significant announcement. Sony has announced PlayStation Showcase 2021, which will be broadcast on September 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific. That's tomorrow, folks. The event promises to offer a sneak peek at the future of PS5 with updates from PlayStation Studios and industry-leading developers, and will last around 40 minutes. It'll show off games releasing this holiday and beyond. One thing you can count on not being part of the show is the still officially untitled PlayStation VR 2. The new headset and its next-gen controllers is reportedly due late next year, and a PS blog post about the event makes it clear that it won't make an appearance at the showcase. Tony, I know you will probably be working during that showcase period, but knowing what you know of it, what are some of the things you would like to see them highlight in this PlayStation Showcase 2021?
An update on when to get a PS5. I mean, I feel bad for if you want to get on board with the next gen, whether it's an Xbox or PlayStation, man, you can't get these things. I get there's microchip shortages from COVID and all that stuff, but they really, this whole year, they've been pretty scarce. You got to know a guy that knows a guy, or you got to really follow the breadcrumb trails to get them. Now, if you want an Xbox Series S, you go to Costco. You can get those right now, which is pretty cool. But the X, you can't find. PlayStation 5, our buddy and friend of the show, Mike, has one and played that Ratchet and Clank A Wrinkle in Time or whatever that one's called for it. Fantastic game, beautiful. The controller is just fits so good in your hand. So on a rant, what am I expecting? Availability, some new games coming out. Of course, Sony, they'll have some good stuff up their sleeve. I look forward to watching the highlights on YouTube when I get home tomorrow.
Yes, some of the games
in a nutshell.
Some of the games that they are expecting to be talked about are Horizon Forbidden West, and then I think probably the biggest exciting one is God of War Ragnarok. They've got that exclusive with God of War. Those games are always fun. They look beautiful, and the gameplay's amazing.
Yeah, they do have a couple of aces up their sleeves, and some exclusivity when it comes to like Call of Duty and things like that. But I really am just hoping that they can announce that they're going to be making these more available versus the dickheads out there in scalping world where they get them and then they sell them for an obnoxious and insane amount of money, which, some people are just stupid to pay it, which is why they do it. So good on the jerks of the world that do that. But
exactly,
I'd like to see it more accessible for everybody.
Yeah. And we'll recap it on next week's show. Let's move on to our next one. Here's a game I don't know if you've picked up yet, Tone, but Sonic Colors Ultimate recently launched across Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. However, following a range of issues predominantly affecting the Switch version of the game, the development team at Blind Squirrel Games has promised to patch the title. The studio thanked fans for their feedback on issues that have been cropping up with the game on Twitter before announcing that it was preparing for a patch for release as soon as possible. Tony, have you picked up the game yet? Is it something you plan on picking up?
Never even played it. Definitely not picking up the Switch version, that's for sure.
Right, or at least until they fix it.
I read a review. Yeah, it was super buggy, and I watched the videos. There's a guy I watch sometimes online, RGT85, and he reviewed it, and it was patchy, buggy, and come to find out, it's that Flying Squirrel, Blind Squirrel, right? That's their company's name, the developer. Well, they also did the very horrible WWE 2K19 on the Switch. That was just insanely bug-ridden and nightmare. So there's not a lot of trust in the developer for me to do that. And I mean, that 2K19 is like an ongoing joke online about glitches and bugs and stuff. So maybe I would check it out on a bargain day on Xbox, sure, but not going to be picking this one up for the Switch.
Well, you've certainly convinced me.
I will pick up.
What's that?
I convinced you not to get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, save it. But WarioWare comes out next week, so I do intend to pick that one up. But that's a Nintendo. So.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Nintendo Switch, and probably one of the most exciting rumors to come out of the Nintendo side of things, a new report claims that Nintendo is going to add Game Boy and Game Boy Color games to its Nintendo Switch online service, which we've been talking about for a while.
Go big and advance, too.
This news comes by way of Eurogamer, which corroborates a report from Nintendo Life that games from these two Nintendo handhelds might finally come to the company's online Netflix-like service. Nintendo Life reported earlier this week that Nate the Hate podcast host Nate Drake had revealed that Nintendo might be adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color games to its online catalog. The publication confirmed this with its own sources, adding that these games could be coming, quote, really soon. Like I said, Tony, you and I have been talking about this for a while. That's exciting. You mentioned Advanced. I'd love to see Advanced come. And then, push it on to Nintendo 64 and GameCube and things along those lines.
What they should do is Nintendo should really revamp their entire online system. I am down with the way they've released the Nintendo games and Super Nintendo. I think it's super cool. And you can't go wrong. You pay $20 for the whole year for the online service, and these games are there for you. Granted, you can't take them on the go, which kind of sucks because you got to be somewhere where you got Wi-Fi. So as long as you got that, you're good. But if you're playing in an airplane, you're screwed. You can't play them. But with Game Boy, I would love it, man. There's so many Game Boy games and Game Boy Color. But realistically, there's a lot of Game Boy Advance games I never got to play because that's as we got older, we didn't really have those, or the DS. I would love to see some stuff like that.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of games. There's a lot of opportunity for Nintendo to revamp this system. They could put out Virtual Boy. They could put out GameCube, 64, DS, 3DS, Game Boy Color. Nintendo could do a lot with this thing. They could even market the Genesis, the TurboGrafx 16, and so forth. But, I don't work for Nintendo, but it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to get the licenses for a lot of their own stuff.
Exactly. Well, and we could talk Nintendo and video games all day long.
Oh my God, I could go on rants with them for a while, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately we got to wrap up the show for the day. So we want to thank everybody again. Again, follow us on the social media platforms at Proton Pack Podcast. We post our articles and videos there as well. Tony, anything you want to leave folks with?
Nope. Thank you for checking us out. Go see Shang-Chi, and we will see you next week, and we'll talk more geeky, nerdy stuff. Until then, we'll see you later.
See you guys.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Woo! Yowie wowie!
Mommy, where's Fluffy?
Goodbye.